Good day, mates. This is Bree. Welcome back to our channel.
And I'm Joe. Today we're going to be diving back into the enchanting world of Dinkum. We spent the entire winter season in the game, and boy do we have some stories to share with you.
Absolutely. If you are a fan of Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, you're in for a treat.
Yes. Now day one kicks off with a bit of a banger. We're kind of still in the development stage of our little town. As you can see, we have Irwin's shop set up here. We've got a couple of the mainstays of civilization, but these darn crocodiles and frillies and all kinds of stuff just keep getting into the base, and they're so frustrating to deal with. So I decided the best way to deal with it was just to send this little guy to the gods.
Luckily, he gives us a $9,720 boost in our Dinkaroonies, so it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to catch them. Also, first day with the jet ski.
Yeah, we decided to go test it out. Ooh, there's a croc trying to kill us.
Jesus Christ, run
so
for your life.
hurry up and get on. We also wanted to see if we could get under the bridge, and we cannot.
Yeah, no, I wasn't too sure if that was just like a one-time thing because of the way that you're riding on it. Yeah, like a
Let's
flute.
try again.
It's not gonna work. I almost guarantee you're blank.
And it doesn't.
But hey, there's Frank.
Hey Frank, how are ya?
Good to see you, Frank.
Frank is our kangaroo troll that lives under our bridge. He's been there about 6 months, likes to poop.
Yeah, I think the first time I built the bridge, he was stuck down there, and I guess he's been eating fish or something. I don't know if kangaroos eat meat. Do kangaroos eat meat?
I don't know.
I would assume.
They'll fight you.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll eat you.
I think so, right? And in my head, all kangaroos eat meat. Get back on. We gotta go.
Away we go.
We gotta go play with some fish or something. I don't know. Day 2 started off with my first goal in mind. I need to expand the farm. The factory must grow, and so must my agricultural aspirations. I'd already fenced off a pretty huge area in the previous months. Shout out to the Bree and Joe Show playlist for Dinkum. If you haven't seen it already, check it out here. But I wanted to get just a huge amount of wheat and sugar on the go. I'd already planted a whole bunch in these fields, but I decided to start manufacturing it en masse. I went and upgraded my iron or my watering can to an iron watering can. That way I could water these crops at 6 times the usual speed. Such an upgrade. Absolutely love it.
And we found some free pumpkins.
Pretty sure I grew those at some point. I just
They're
realized
free.
that they were still in my inventory.
Free for me. And there's nothing better than riding on the back of your husband's jet ski. But, of course, you have to yeet yourself off.
What?
Yeah, to
Why?
find some treasure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Water squirrel. Luckily, this isn't like a no-wake zone, you know?
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about the manatees or crocodiles, I guess. Does Australia have rivers and things? Hold on, speed bump.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
They have crocs everywhere.
Day 3 rolled around, and I decided to visit my wife in her beautiful little animal farm. How many creatures did you have in here, sweetheart?
We have 4 chickens, 2 pleeps, 1 wombat, 2 dogs, a zoo. It's really a zoo.
And my favorite
keep me
move.
very busy. And yeah, we just have a lot of chickens and some honeybees, of course.
Very important now. I'm not really sure what the point of the honey was besides selling it. So I headed back out to sea real quick to grab our rowboat that had been just sucked into the void.
Yes, we were looking for a super rare fish, and then all of a sudden, we were just dropping into the world like Minecraft.
Yeah.
And we had to shuttle our way back to shore on our boogie boards. That was not a fun night. We almost died multiple times.
It was horrible. I don't understand why it had happened. All of a sudden, we were just falling through the world, and then all of my controls got reversed. Like, backwards was forwards, and vice versa. It was very hard to swim back. Back at base, I decided that I was tired of having an oblong, strangely formed farm. So I just went and did a whole bunch of terraforming. By a whole bunch, I mean adding 3 pieces of dirt to the water, but, work must be done. Rearranging these fences, getting everything leveled off, and preparing for what I would hope would someday soon be an absolute agricultural powerhouse of a farm.
Mm-hmm. These fences are super important. When we first made this farm area, birds, kangaroos. They were eating all of our crops.
I hated it.
So we quickly had to put in a barrier.
It was awful, but now not so much.
Day 4 starts with me feeling a little self-conscious. I put a bag on my head.
Who gave you that?
Erwin.
Erwin's an animal. What the hell, Erwin? I knocked out some daily chores as well. I really need a whole bunch of permit points in order to get the agricultural licenses that I needed for a tractor. I think it's like 10,000 permit points in total, or some crazy number that you need in order to get all the attachments on it. So I just spent the day running around, like my favorite YouTuber says, a goose on the loose. Also visited my main man Theo. Love this guy. He gives off a lot of permit points. I donated like a $10,500 fish for 100 permit points. Day 5 rolled around, hanging out with my main man Franklin, the Frankinator, Frankenstein. I needed a jackhammer because I was getting real tired of using the pickaxes. I figured, why not upgrade to an electric tool? I think this was our first electric tool, so I just wanted to be able to get in there and mass produce some sprinklers, and to do that, I'm going to need a whole bunch of copper and iron.
We needed to go down to the mines because we were, like Joe said, we were lacking on our iron, our copper, and this is the best place to go and get it. Instead of running around the island, we just have to battle some little demons.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure. These things aren't real, right? A bush devil isn't a real animal.
Tasmanian devil is.
It was like the size of like a ferret, maybe a small cat. We ended up with 4 rubies from the mine. Not bad, but not great. We're going to use these guys, smash them all up, and turn them into ruby shards. That way we can go to the deep mines level 2. But we kind of wanted to prep a little bit for that first. Get a whole bunch more keys, get some wattle brew. That way we can get that sweet, sweet mining buff and do the things that we need to do downstairs. Day 6 rolled around, and our passive traps were starting to pay off. Because those darn gators just chill in the lake, I figured to just set up a whole bunch of random traps around the place.
And they'll walk into it, and we'll get a bunch of money.
It totally works. You know, a gator's worth like, I don't know, 5 to 7 grand, something like that. So just making free money is pretty good. I was a little confused as well because I'd set up these sprinklers, but they weren't working. I didn't realize that the water, there's a big like watering thing, like a water tower you need to set up in order for those to get water. I figured it was in range. They totally weren't in range, so my crops went without water for a day. So I'm gonna need to go back and make another one. I harvested up the rest of the wheat that had been growing on these fertilized tiles. I think it grows like twice as fast. These things are incredible. Highly recommend. I processed the rest of the ore that we'd gotten from the deep mines, and I also set about making a little bit of a decorative path.
Yeah, we needed to make an industrial zone. We also just wanted to kind of start like dividing up different areas of our farm, kind of just designating, you know, where we want to be doing these processes.
Yeah, we'd kind of been a little bit just random with building placement and stuff, so it's time to get into proper placement. We'd received a bulletin board request to capture a whole bunch of frillies, and these guys were not messing around. They normally sell for that like almost $10,000 mark. Now they were selling for almost 20 grand, so we figured, hey, why not just grab a whole bunch of these guys from the desert if we could, if they stopped getting into fights with every single thing on the planet. Look how much damage they can put out. That's pretty darn good. Come on, you. My job was to get as many frillies as possible, stack them up. Bree was the only one with the motorcycle, so her job was to catch them. Well, there might be like 3 to 7 frillies stacked up by the time you get back.
Haha, nice.
Yeah. Come here, you. Whoa!
Ah.
Nice try. Her job was to bring them back. I decided to capture any animal that we found along the way that was worth a decent amount of dinkage. Just because, you know, crocodiles and stuff, super easy. Metal traps, absolutely love it. Also, who needs a ute? We could just drive around on our little motorcycle together. Super convenient. Barely an inconvenience or whatever that guy says. More frillies on day 8. Bree had delivered all of the frillies on day 7, so I think she made around like 50 to 60 grand every drop-off, and I think we did like 10 drop-offs. Look how many there are just stacked up in the desert. Once we'd gotten all of these frillies home, we would have to divide up the cash between ourselves. We didn't think about it, but would have been very useful just to have an animal collection point with us. That way, every time we captured a whole bunch of them, we could have just thrown them on the ground. But here was the big mamma jamma. Day 8, the rumble in the forest. I went up against the alpha bush devil. These guys are pretty darn tough. They shoot fireballs, they can swim, they can do all kinds of stuff and things, but I wasn't scared. It was a great and glorious battle that we fought on that side of the riverbank on Sunday, the 8th of winter. I got inside his hitbox and started pushing him across the bank so that he couldn't fight back. Take that, you nerd. Oh yeah. The spear is just the absolute best weapon in this game. It might not attack very quickly, but good damage with the meat pie, and this guy was mine. Delicious prime meat for our prime roasts. After I was done with him, I decided to capture his child, who was also right around the river bank. Still trying to figure out how this motorbike worked. Bree was very helpful in just trying to stay still and direct me how to place it on there. But eventually we got our little boy back home so that way he could be studied. I have a feeling that the guys, the science dudes, are the ones who are making the alpha monsters. So we might actually be doing like the wrong thing, but hey, who knows? I think alpha monsters are pretty cool. I started day 9 with a little bit of watering of the fields. I had been kind of forgot about the fields for a few days, I'm not gonna lie to you. The frilly hunt took precedence. Luckily, I'd also built another water tower, so I didn't have to deal with the majority of the crops, but I was unwilling to put sprinklers in on this side until I had harvested all of my sugarcane.
We discovered a little trick / cheat / hack where you get permanent points when you have $1 million in your bank account.
Correct. So
Joe and I just transferred back all the money that we had, and we got 1,000 permanent points for every $1 million that we had. Joe, I think, got about 3,000. I got maybe 2,000.
We should have gotten the same amount because we both gave each other.
You already had the.
Oh, I'd already put $1 million in.
Yeah.
You're a smart woman.
And you also, when you get $1 million, is when we get another visitor.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we show him off, but there is a little weird guy that shows up on a boat when it rains. Sometimes, not always, because it's rained a couple of times and he hasn't shown up. But it is what it is.
And then I use the money from my profits to buy Joe a bike.
What do you mean profits?
Never mind.
Oh my God! You took my money? Why? Well, I guess you bought me a bike with it, so it's not really like theft.
And luckily, Joe spent his day 9 morning watering all the plants just for it to rain in the afternoon.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that kind of snide remark. But she's right. That happens to me more often than not. Little trick though, kind of obvious based on what's going on screen, but if you hoe when it's raining, then you don't have to water the plants. So super useful way of building out hoed areas. I'm not sure if stuff disappears when it's wet, but it seems like it disappears less. Day 10 rolled around and I decided that I needed to grab a few more fish. I haven't been mentioning it, but every single day I've been making my way either to the ocean or something to grab a bunch of fish because the ocean isn't filled with crocodiles. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. And there's another one in the lake over there. It's just too much. It's too many crocodiles. We're gonna have to build a fence or something. I can't handle all these crocodiles, but I will catch them because they're worth an okay amount of money. We should build a corral at some point in our next season. That would be real smart.
Corral them to the area where they could be picked up?
Yeah! Just build like a...
Are you kidding me right now?
Why?
That was my idea.
Oh. Well, I thought it was my idea. Anyways, I got some fish. No, your idea was to do it in the desert. And I said, Why would they go through there?
Anything.
Anything? Yeah, we just need some way to bait them towards the trap, though. You know, that way they don't just stand there wandering, doing nothing. Well, I think I just got myself in trouble. But I also got a fish in day 10 of Dinkum to help build out my overgrowing fish farm. Hey, Franklin.
Franklin's so confused why all these fish are in front of his house.
Because Franklin science hippie. You got to learn how to deal with it. God, it's a lot of fish, though. I want to get like 2 or 3 inventories worth of fish before Max shows up. During the fishing competition, Max buys all fish for 2.5 times their amount. So I figured, I would figure out what fish sold for the most money in our season, which is winter. And then from there, be able to move forward and make a ton of cash. I also noticed that Bree was hanging out down there with her bow and arrow. What the fuck?
Yeah, this croc tried to run up on me, so I had to kill him. Oh, I don't need your help, but thank you. And boom goes the dynamite. He is deceased.
Day 11 rolled around, and there was a weird request to get some shells to turn into fertilizer. There's no way in hell I'm going to do that. So this is just a little experiment to try and figure out what happens if you don't fulfill somebody's permit. The farm looks like it's up and running. I still have to water all of my sugarcane, which has become quite a bit of a chore. Even with the iron watering can, I desperately need to get some more sprinklers, but we're still a little low on materials. Looks like these crops in the back, though, are functioning perfectly. Just a whole bunch of wheat. I spent the rest of the day kind of running around creating a new coconut farm. This place is near the southern peninsula, and it's in an absolutely great location.
Yeah, it's super helpful to get there. And the coconuts themselves sell for quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a big investment, but it's going to pay off.
Right, because remember, when it rains, the bulk trader comes by, and he buys stuff in groups of 50, which is actually kind of awkward because 50 isn't divisible by 3.
Why does that matter?
Because the coconuts drop coconuts and things of 3.
Smart boy.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what's the closest way to get to it. So I think I planted like 132 coconuts, just so that way we would have a close enough number and have like 1 coconut left over.
Just to get a lot.
Yeah. God, placing these things down is super frustrating, though.
Yeah, it's going to zigzag.
Yeah, it's not great. The next part of my great winter plan was to continue to catch these marlin. I mentioned it before, but these guys sell for like $20,000+. So having a whole bunch of them stored up in the fish stockpile outside of Franklin's sounds like a great idea. It means they'll sell for around $60,000 each. God, I can't wait for the money to start rolling in from this massive time investment.
While Joe was fighting the marlins in the South Seas, I was chatting with my good friend Sheila. Also, I just remembered, she sells coffee. I totally forgot that was the thing.
Yeah, so the Tucker box isn't a sales thing. It's where if you deposit stuff, you'll get a ton of extra money for it.
Turns out she's also running a scam on green beans. 1 green bean, $2,000 something.
Yeah, that is insane. But maybe that's how much a green bean sells for? I'm not sure. I'd assume not, though. I think she's probably selling it at a premium.
I decided to go down and help Joe. So I'm digging at the hole out from underneath it. And then when you put the dirt back on top, it plants the tree.
What is this?
I have no idea about that.
What the heck is this? Oh my God, this lady not paying attention.
I tried to exit.
What? Don't do that. Let's just go home. Day 11 finished up with a little bit of animal nabbing as, that passive trap was actually working out quite well for us out front of the house. So Bree went and made a couple of more animal traps, including the animal capture point. And just like that, the dog wanders in, blammo, gets sent to God.
We discovered that if you put the traps touching the animal collection point, the animal immediately goes up to the research center.
So just putting this around spawners, it's just free money. The other thing is you can call dogs. So if they're kind of spawned nearby, you visit this place every once in a while, blammo, free dog nap. 12
was another mine day. We needed to go get replenishment of our copper, iron, and other resources. We're also always looking for rubies. Anytime we're going down, we're looking for the stuff that's going to pay us big money.
Yeah, dude, those rubies sell, I think it's for like 15,000 dinks a pound or something like that, or a kilogram. Totally worth it. Also, portents, this mine is pretty vicious.
A super helpful tip. We got lucky and we found a bat zapper. early on. But as soon as you can, make that. Ted Soley is going to be the one that makes it. Literally prioritize it. It is a game changer when going into the deep mines because you can just kind of zap all the bats and they all die. It does die, so we're hoping to find another one just so that it will last the full day of being in the mines.
Yeah, it does not hold a very long charge, but it is an incredible tool for making it through the mines relatively stress-free. As you can see,
it's a little bit difficult to drive in the mines, but Joe looks like a pro.
yeah, man, I have been practicing a lot. Honestly, the motorbikes handle really well in the game. Much better than the darn Emu. That thing's crazy. We walk away with, I think it's 4 or 3 emeralds, something like that.
Somehow it got caught on fire. Oh, and one
disappears.
fell into the abyss.
Hello? Oh, it's back! What? I had my jackhammer ready, I was gonna go to the mines, and then I saw this amazing request by Milburn on day 13. And I thought, hey, $6,000 for some palm wood or whatever. Totally worth it. We'd been acquiring a whole bunch of tools. My fish extravaganza continued to grow. All of the chickens and things looked happy. I needed to smelt a whole bunch of ore as I'd been still running relatively low in order to make the sprinklers. They take a lot of copper. They take 5 iron bars per one. It's just insane. The little chickens were looking good though, and I was ready to move on to our next spot. I was trying to catch marlin still to keep building out that fish farm that I had growing. Unfortunately, the marlins tend to hang out in kind of like these shallower waters. So as I would go to catch them, these little fishy buffoons kept getting on the line instead of the marlin. And they all
protect the big daddy.
Yeah, and they all hit at the same time. So it's like a 1 in 3, 1 in 5 chance sometimes that you get the right marlin. It was very frustrating. I think I spent like 3 hours trying to catch this one marlin, or it just like automatically disappeared after a certain amount of time. But here we go again. Some little guy just taking my bait. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Going into day 14, we were going to go to the deep mines level 2. Neither one of us had seen any videos or any information about what to expect, which was really nice because oftentimes you see the videos, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. As I purposely stay away from like game trailers and things like that now, just because I don't want to be hyped. I don't want it to get spoiled. There's like a Venus flytrap of doom that is just messing us up. But such is life. We found these brand new temples which had some type of like evil slugs inside it. And this was our first emerald of the run. First of many, I should say. I think that we're in for quite a bit of money this day, Sweet Pea.
Yeah, we immediately found that right off the bat, so that was super optimistic. We were super optimistic about that. We discovered that you are able to jump across through using these lily pads, but the motorcycles didn't drive very well, so we were having to walk every single one of the emeralds back.
Oh, and that's why this Frilly he was messing with me so much. He just kept coming after me throughout the entire day. They're much tougher than their usual counterparts. They're quicker, and they can do poison damage to you.
Yeah, and their tongues shoot straight out, and if you happen to like walk into it, 15-20 damage right off the bat.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. Honestly, I kind of feel like we should have armor in this game as well. We also employed some World of Warcraft tactics here where... Oh, sorry, Sweet Pea.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Sweet Pea. Oh my god, she rose again! Terrifying. But yeah, just did some WoW tactics in order to get as many emeralds, loot running back to the base here. I think we ended up with what, like 10, 11?
I think 12, yeah.
12 emeralds. Jeez, that's like $360,000 each.
That was, yeah, it was a lot.
That's a lot of cash. Maybe we shouldn't be farmers anymore.
Yeah, we should be archaeologists.
That would be insanely good. Day 15, and we couldn't even sell all of the emeralds that we had gotten. I think the nature itself felt my fury as these dogs just mauled this poor kangaroo, probably Frank, in the middle of the town.
Oh my god.
It may have been Frank. I also went about continuing to expand my farming endeavors with all of the materials that we gathered from the mines. I had quite a few sprinklers now. I think I made like another 6. Oh, and we finally were able to hang out with a villager. I got, what's his name, Baldy McGee, to come out here and paddle some dogs with me. What a guy. I also turned in Milburn's quest. He wanted those fences for 6,500 dinks. He doesn't use them. I don't know why he wanted them, but...
He's got reasons.
He's got reasons. Kinky reasons. Horrible. Day 16, and we were finally able to sell our emeralds. They did come out to around 400-ish. I think we both had some pretty darn heavy emeralds. That's a good feeling. If I was smart, I would have just brought all of these in, dropped them on the floor, and then moved on, but I didn't do it that way. We'd also finally gathered enough platypus wool to make our sail ship. This was another big lifetime goal of ours completed. I thought it would be super fun to go on like a Viking river cruise.
Yeah, it was super cool, and the chest below the mast actually has like, I think 12 spots.
Now, where is the chest? I didn't actually ever see it when we were playing.
You see where the mast line is?
Yeah.
If you go up to it and click A, technically it's like the box below it.
Oh, wow.
Like that little raised area.
Okay. Oh, we also decided to test out if you could catch a shark. Luckily, you cannot. I just happened to have a marlin in my fishing pole. I was trying to go to the iron spear, but nah, you can't put the shark on the boat.
Which was a disappointment. Waking up of the 17th, I remembered I had a ton of permit points to turn in, so I went and got my commerce license and a couple other ones, which allows me to have more profit when selling things.
Yeah, it's an extremely powerful permit. It probably would have been smart for us just to like
focus on that.
Yeah, unfortunately we really didn't.
Looks like Joe's delivering some crocos in the background, so there's some money coming in there. This game is all about hustle and trying to find things that are going to make you the most amount of money.
It's strange in the cozy games, you know, like Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon. Those are the games where I hustle the most. I never feel stressed in like Call of Duty, but in these games, like I have to do the thing.
Erwin just loves to be mean to me. He gave me a bag for my head and then he just pushed me out of the way. I took the dogs out to go treasure hunting and I found the world's treasure, Santa!
Hooray for Santa! Old St. Nick does visit the island every once in a while.
I'm looking at all the things that I can't afford because I refuse to participate in this
capitalist system. Every day, it's very important that you check your milestones and also go on a little bit of dog napping. Nothing like taking the local furry community into the sky. What are you up to, sweetheart?
I'm just eating my quiche and going for my morning stroll. But I would love to be involved in the shenanigans right now.
Heck yeah, join the dog napping club. Now, the farm had to continue to grow. I'd been working a little bit on acquiring some Rupu. That way, my next couple of farm plots will be completely fertilized. The goal would be to have 500 fertilizer at some point to completely revitalize the fields. I spent most of the midday just picking up a whole bunch of these marlin. I really need them, but Gila Pete, can they really put up a big fight? A very good hint here is whenever you go to catch a fish, try and drive it toward a rock or something that it'll get stuck on, because
good tip.
Yeah, man, it can't get away from you, so you can pull it in normally on the first try. Very, very useful. I decided to end the day with a little bit of metal detecting. Now that we had more than enough iron and copper in the bank, my main hurt point was irons, or the springs, and also keys. We didn't really have a lot of keys left either. I'd left a couple of goodies on the beach there, so I was just checking to make sure that no wayward little stinker had ended up stealing them.
And if you see me in the distance, I had in fact stolen them.
Yeah, I saw you running into the woods. Give me that. Yeah, I don't trust my little sweet pea with anything, especially my money. Just kidding.
The good thing about finding the amber chunks is you can sell them for a pretty decent price in John's shop. So it's just an injection of cash, which is always awesome.
I think that he actually he could make so much money by just like cooking the book if he like zeroed out the scale with a little bit of weight on it and knocks off like half a kilogram each time.
My gosh.
That'd be super smart. Also, I had just an absurd amount of fish at this point.
This is impressive.
Thank you. I also picked up that quest for the alpha croco. I think this is the first alpha croco we ever hunted. So I decided to prepare myself in case I died a grisly death. I would leave my children a whole bunch of seeds so that they could, plant whatever it is that they need. I guess a bunch of fairy bread.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, run for your life. Good job, sweetheart. Well,
Flaming bat is the best weapon in the game.
Especially for larger animals, because you can just like hit them in the ass.
The way that we always start the day is going and making sure we're catching those marlins.
Yeah, it's incredibly important, at least to me. I'm not sure if it's very efficient. Please let us know in the comment section down below and be sure to like and subscribe. But I found this beautiful little patch of islands, and the marlins usually spawn kind of near shallower water, but I spent the majority of the day looking for the marlins, and I think I caught 2, maybe 1. It was awful.
They were onto you.
I think I depopulated them, you know?
Probably.
That's a big thing that's going on right now is overfishing of the oceans. So I guess I contributed to that, to the point at which I'd put such a dent in the marlin population that they were never seen on these islands again. No. Running low on materials once again, on day 21, Sweetheart and I headed down into the mines, just the regular level 1 deep mines. I was just out of copper. Copper has been a real funnel point for us for basically the entirety of this game. Oh god, and an alligator right at the front is a portent of doom.
Yeah, and I decided, I'm going to take my 3 rubies home. All of a sudden the walls caved in on me and formed around me.
Yeah, look at this.
So I had to carve in.
It's madness. I don't know how this happened to you. I'm so sorry.
I have no idea. And that was the most frustrating thing because my bike was broken, so I could no longer see it on the map.
Yeah, so she doesn't know. I came to help her at this point. Neither of us can see what had happened. She's telling me that, like, all of a sudden the wall spawned in on her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Did you just drive into a wall? No.
It cloned in on me.
Yeah, dude. It just spawned right on top of her. So as we were driving, I was nervous that this was going to happen to me as well. So I'm trying to, like, just drive very safely. But it's just such a compacted area in the deep mines that sometimes you can't.
Yeah. Sometimes it just pulls you off the back of the bike.
Yeah. So,
luckily, Joe has that sledgehammer.
Yeah, the jackhammer.
Jackhammer.
But overall, you know, we ended up getting quite a few good materials. 241 iron, 179 copper, a whole bunch of stone. At this point, I didn't even care about tin anymore. And just over level 75 mining for myself. I was pretty happy with that. Day 22. It's all been for this. I have dozens, if not 100 fish ready to go to sell to Max. The beautiful bearded man himself only comes to visit twice a year, but when he does, he buys fish for twice as much. And boy, oh boy, do I have some fish for you, Max. I have a ton of marlin. I've got cod. These weird things that start with a B. I am ready, Max. Show me the money. Money, 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 Max. Yes. That's right. Quite the catch. Coming in first at 1,200,000 plus dinks. Also, for the fishing competitions, you get to go out there and catch barracudas. I thought that was pretty cool. The barracudas sell for quite a bit of money as well. I don't remember how much, but I think it was somewhere like the 10 to 20,000 area. I finished up the competition, logged in my score at 15, and I had a good feeling that I was going to win. But more importantly, I had a whole bunch of barracudas to sell Max. He bought them for another 480,000 dinks. I think it was like 2.37 million earned this day. Totally worth it. Day 23 brought us another adventure into the level 2 deep mines. We're really looking for emeralds here, but specifically copper again. I was pretty dead. I got immediately roasted by a frilly from behind, and now Sweet Pea had to become the Doomslayer.
And I slayed them good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So when an enemy aggro's on you, they'll only attack you. So
So it's super helpful for Joe to be the bait, and I go in for the kill.
I didn't like the use of word bait, but she was right.
He goes in, he
hides in a corner.
And at one point he jumps on the lamp, I think.
Yeah, dude. Well, it was a place of safety. Help me. Oh, thank you. The light will bring me solace. Luckily, Sweetheart also tends to keep a bunch of extra weapons in her inventory, so she gave me a wooden bat. I don't know why you had that
cricket
thing.
bat.
A cricket bat. It's still made of wood, right? I'd assume. Never played cricket. Only ended up with 4 emeralds, though. Not the best day in the mines.
And as you'll notice, every time we ride the elevator, I now hide in the corner so that I don't knock any gems into the abyss.
Yeah, the death abyss. I just put an emerald into the wheelbarrow. I did not mean to do that. Maybe I did. What am I doing?
The first time I don't think you...
Oh, that's right, because the wheelbarrow can hold up to 10 items. So I was looking to see if it could hold up to 10 like holdable items as well. I'm not sure if you threw a beehive in there if it would shatter, but that could be an easy way to store beehives outside your house for when you need to break them open.
Yeah.
And it appears that the bees are working 24/7 right now, as in they don't take a break in winter like regular bees. Good hard-working bees. 3, 2, 1.
Day 24 had us digging for treasure. We were on the look for springs.
Yeah, along with having a lack of resources when it came to copper and iron, I desperately needed springs. A lot of the materials, specifically the sprinklers, need like 4 springs or something like that per one. On our quest as well, anytime I encountered an animal that was worth a decent amount of dinks, I like to pick them up. I like to think of myself as like the island's professional animal mapper. Feels quite good, and for all of my hard work, I even earned myself some permit points. Okay. Fletch approves of animal capture.
And you really got at stacking that bike. It took us a long time to figure that out, but now that we did, we make it work.
Yeah. Oh, a huge day in the fields as well. Day 24 was a day of bounty and beauty, as I was able to harvest, I think it was like 300 wheat, and turn all of that, oh no, it must have been less than that, maybe 150 wheat, and turn all of that into flour, so that we could continue our production on the flour and sugar to turn into fairy bread. I started day 25 on a bit of a roll, completing a turn-in quest for Theo for this kind of crazy-looking mask. I had a whole bunch of animal traps on me because I had been trapping while doing my routine animal finding.
You know, these bikes are so finicky because sometimes you can get all the cages on just right, sometimes you can't.
Yeah. But all of those animals and selling those fish had finally paid off. I had millions in the bank, and it was time for me to make a big purchase.
Yep, we were ready to make the commitment to buy a tractor. So first, let's just deposit what we have in our pockets, but it's time to order the tractor.
Yes, this thing is an absolute beast. It allows you to plant seeds, plows the land, and also harvest your crops. It is just incredibly useful, and it does all of it in a 3x3 area. You don't have to use any stamina. Yeah, it's just like the bee's knees. I was so ready on day 26 to go pick up my tractor. I just grabbed the amber. Hey, John, take your amber, nerd. And I went straight for it. There it is, sitting in the mail along with about 30 animal traps because I needed that money to make up for the tractor sale. It was going to be the most amazing of days, the most tractoriest of days, the tractoriest tractor that had ever tracked. Also, more of these requests to find Santa's sack. Had no interest in Santa's sack,
No.
I do say.
So I love a good unboxing. So I was so excited and I had to be a part of us setting up the tractors. In viewing that, I had to be the first one to drive it. It felt good to drive and be in control.
No other way did I expect that to end than Sweet Pea instantly hijacking my vehicle.
I'm desperately trying to figure out if I am able just to sit on the back of the truck.
Yeah. The vehicles have kind of like a finicky hitbox where you tend to jump in and out of them a little bit, and things don't... It just, where you'd think you should click on the vehicle isn't always the spot. Like the driver's seat, it just isn't the way to get in. You have to click at it from like the engine in. We spent maybe like 30 seconds to like 2 hours in game trying to figure out how to get the plow and stuff to come out. I thought maybe you had to buy something from Franklin. Nah.
You just gotta hit the button.
Yeah, you just gotta right click and then it circulates through the ones that you've already unlocked. They're just unlocked with permit points, so not really a big deal, but permit points seem to be much rarer. Well, they're obviously much rarer than dinks, especially as you get a little bit later into the game. God, this tractor was a beast.
Yeah, it has a super small turn radius.
Yeah, that is true. Very useful for gathering, but I'm going to need to move these fences out by like 1 block if I'm going to continue to use the tractor. And you know what? I started plowing the fields with that in mind after bumping into a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to leave that area there to the left unplowed. I got to fuck around with all of the sprinklers that I've made because... nothing like counting out spaces to really get your gander going. Oh, such joy. But I believe it's roughly 50 by 50 farm is fully plowed. I picked everything up. I'm getting ready to put it all back down in its proper locations with water towers, scarecrows, the whole 9 yards, and a nice fenced-in area. This is going to be 1/2 wheat, 1/2 sugarcane. That way I can always be producing fairy bread and the 2 basic recipe supplies that are sugar and flour. I think you need roughly 1.5 wheat to every sugar plant in order to produce a thing of fairy bread as well.
Having to do this into the wee hours really took a toll on Joe, but it's gonna pay off.
Yeah. Especially when it rains and that guy comes by with the boat, that will be totally worth it.
Yeah, we might get an achievement for how many fairy breads we sell at once. Day 27 was a coconut harvest day. So these are the coconuts from our actual, like right by our village. So we got a good 50, 60 maybe. Each.
Yeah. So we can add this to the coconut farm in the far south, or we could save them up for when Boat Boy shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know how he works, but every time you buy or sell something from him, he makes it seem like you're the one making a bad deal.
Yeah.
So maybe the stuff is worth a lot more off of Dinkum Island, or I think we call ours Bum Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Bum Island. Anyways, I ended up selling the rest of whatever junk I had left over from the fishing tournament and continued doing a little bit of treasure hunting because we're still a little low on some of those materials.
Mm-hmm. Especially the springs and the gears, I believe.
Yeah.
Those are ones that we're always looking for. But there's some pretty good ones, like the hot cylinders, what I call them.
Yeah.
I always get so excited when I find those, and the old contraptions. I just feel super unique or necessary, so I'm always excited when we get that.
Yeah. Strangely enough, I think they need to kind of push those back a little bit. And their spawn rate chance, just because I think we have like 40 old contraptions in a chest somewhere, and no springs. Oh, Jesus. Another gator chased me home.
Look at all the villagers running away.
Run for your lives. He's here. It's Crocozilla. I would watch Crocozilla.
I'm sure it's a thing.
I'm going to Google this right now. Crocozilla sounds amazing.
Crocozilla.
Heck yeah. As we neared the end of the season, the end of the month, I made a little bit of fun discovery about printing dirt, and I had grand plans for the coming spring season. Sweetheart, do you have any goals?
Yeah, my big goal for the spring and the next section is just expanding the animal farm. Right now we have, on average, about 2 of each of the animals. And so I'm going to work on expanding that, setting up, more of the processing equipment, just so we can kind of, industrialize our farm a little bit.
Yeah. And you know what? New year, new hair.
Oh, yeah.
Go big or go home. So we decided to change our look. This is Sally, the hairdresser. She came into town. Boy, oh boy, is she good at cutting and adding on hair to your head.
Perfect. So beautiful. Joe ended up going with this spiky haircut.
Heck
Looks
yeah.
super cool. And he got an achievement.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.